It's super important to have fun, and unfortunately, as we get older and we get all of these responsibilities, we forget about the power of play. We forget about how fun it was for us not to have bills to pay and people to pick up and jobs to go to and things of that nature. My recommendation is always have that passion, empower yourself to play. Think of ways that make you feel more active, more satisfied in your life, and that way you'll be able to be a much happier person. Sleep is so very important, but unfortunately as we age, one of the things that happens is we're not able to sleep as well. So we've done a lot of research to look at different countries where heart disease has diminished by about 30%. And one thing that they're doing differently is they're napping. So they're taking maybe 3 or 4 naps a week and only 20 minutes each. But you can see such a dramatic difference in their health and in their energy and in the way that they're able to remember things in their brain and things of that nature, that it's really making a significant difference. People here don't really do that as much, and we really need to begin to put that more into our schedules. And I was speaking to a great physician who informed me actually that the best time to take a nap is noon, because that's when your body and your circadian rhythm has really calmed down. And what it does is it allows you to kind of be more stable and more thoughtful and more mindful and be in the moment when you're napping. We used to look at research, and research would tell us that married couples always lived longer. But now what research is actually telling us is not if you're married that makes you live longer, it's if you have a really nice support system of friends, of family, and people that you can be super engaged with socially and that you can spend time with. They're finding so much more information about it's just that connection and that connectivity. So a lot of times I'll see a woman and she'll be so beautifully dressed, but she'll have white sneakers on because she's going to go during lunch. She's going to take a walk in the middle of, a busy street. Well, after doing a lot of research around that, I've found out that really the busy streets aren't the place that we should be walking and should be exercising, because you're getting so much beeping of horns and people are, running into you and things of that nature. And the more that we begin to look at it, especially looking at brain scans, the more we actually realize that nature can be so important to your being able to not only exercise, but also exercise in a mindful way. Because what's happening as you're exercising is happy hormones are releasing. Endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, it's all releasing. And even in Japan, they actually call it forest therapy. And so it's really important that as you begin to put together your exercise routine, you also incorporate nature. There are 4 keys to longevity. One is body. What can we do from a physical standpoint to always maintain that we're in the best shape? But I mean from inflammation and stress levels, and what can we do exercise-wise and all of that. Then there's mind. So what do you do to keep your mind intact? We always talk about Sudoku and things like that. To me, it's more about social engagement. It's more about activity. It's more about doing things that you normally might not do, like taking a different route to work than you do every single day. What can you do to stimulate your mind? And then there's sort of the soulful place. What can you do from a soulful standpoint? What can you do to be passionate about your life and passionate about the play in your life as an individual? Not what have you done this whole time so that, your kids were happy, your parents were happy, your spouse was happy. What makes you happy, and what is it that you can do to sort of make changes in your life to make sure your second 50 years is what you want it to be? And then finally, I think one of the keys that supports it all is what can you do from a finance standpoint? How do you make sure that financially you're set to potentially live to age 100 or even 110? So as we age, there's a couple of things that happen. One is that a lot of us unfortunately gain a little bit of weight. And then also, obviously chronic conditions become more of a play. But there's about 117 million people in America that have a chronic condition of hypertension, which is blood pressure, high blood pressure, or diabetes, or something of that nature. So a lot of research has started to indicate that intermittent fasting, which is this idea around only eating for a set amount of time, so maybe 8 hours. So I've incorporated in my diet, I only eat from 11 to 7. And then you're able to use the other 16 hours to process the food, for your digestion to work better, to get rid of the sugars, the carbs. And then what's nice is that it begins to start really being able to process and burn off the fat. And that's what's really important, when you're thinking about aging, is sort of looking back and figuring out, what can I do? How can I change my lifestyle so that I can look and feel more energetic and happier?